gonna have the last laugh.
What about all these lawsuits though, Pop?
Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money hungry and shit.
Pop, Justin said, what should he do about his whip though?
A new controversy is exploding across the internet, spreading faster than anyone expected. What started as a quiet rumor has suddenly turned into a global conversation after a mysterious piece of audio began circulating online.
Okay, everyone, let's hear what Puff Daddy is saying on a recorded line.
I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
What about all these lawsuits though, Pop?
Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money hungry and shit.
Pop, Justin said, what should he do about his whip though?
Man, the fuck is you talking about? You don't see this shit I'm dealing with right now?
I know, Pop. I told us to that.
Hey, yo, check this out. Tell his light-skinned ass to go make a club appearance or something. Motherfucker, make some money. You 30 years old and shit. Pay your own fucking car. Hey,
I told him drop some music. I'm about to drop a new track this week. Everybody gonna want to hear what my sound like.
man, we not doing that shit. Y'all need to stay quiet.
Pop, I could rap though. We got attention right now.
Man, just do what the I told you to do. And don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking...
So there are bombshells after bombshells in the government's new filing in the Sean Diddy Combs case, the sex trafficking, racketeering, prostitution case. I don't need to repeat all the allegations. You know what they all are by now. But prosecutors from the Southern District of New York submitted an opposition brief to Sean Combs' motion for bail that they are hoping that this new judge, in this case, Judge Arun Subramanian, will hear. And as we're going to lay out, prosecutors say not only is Sean Combs not entitled to bail, but essentially he shouldn't even get a hearing on this. And remember, Combs is currently in detention at the Metropolitan Detention Center out in Brooklyn, New York, after being denied bail by other judges. The main issues keeping him locked away are that the courts have held that the prosecutors have shown that he is a danger on the outside. He's a potential flight risk. Most notably was evidence put forward that he had been improperly contacting victims and witnesses in this case. And as we discussed on previous sidebars, Sean Combs' counsel has denied all this. They've indicated that all of those conversations were not done with the intent to engage in witness tampering or obstruction. And even, at least they say, one witness had contacted Combs, not the other way around. Well, the government has come out with new evidence of its own to justify pretrial detention. And let me just read you this from the beginning of their brief. They say, while attempting to evade law enforcement monitoring, the defendant has, among other things, orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case, and contacted witnesses through third parties? What? And that's not even half of it, because now we have a better idea of also who may be a key witness in this case. So much to break through, so much to break down. Let me bring on acclaimed criminal defense attorney to the stars, Bradford Cohen, who has famously represented celebrities like Kodak Black and Drake. Thank you so much for coming on, Bradford. I got to start with this bombshell. So the government says, look, you can't let him out because he has already been engaging in obstruction while locked up. They read, the government has reviewed dozens of recordings of BOP jail calls in which the defendant uses telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates, which is against BOP regulations. Seemingly to avoid law enforcement monitoring, the defendant uses other inmates' PAC numbers to make phone calls to both individuals on the defendant's approved contact list, as well as other individuals who are not on the approved contact list. To obtain or maintain access to other inmates' PAC numbers, the defendant directs others to pay the inmates, including through payment processing apps and BOP account deposits. The defendant also frequently instructs individuals whom he contacts by telephone, including family members and his attorneys, to add other individuals via three-way call. This practice is not authorized by BOP as it helps conceal the identities of the contacted individuals. The government has reviewed multiple calls in which the defendant...
According to posts circulating across multiple platforms, the audio allegedly captures a prison phone call involving a powerful figure in the entertainment industry, someone whose legal troubles have already dominated headlines for months. At first, the clip appeared quietly in smaller corners of the internet. A few users began sharing it cautiously, raising questions about whether the voice in the recording truly belonged to the person many believed it did. The audio itself was rough, unclear in several places and difficult to confirm. But there was something about it that immediately grabbed attention, a tense and uneasy tone that many listeners described as alarming. Within hours, the clips started spreading rapidly across the internet. Video channels jumped in to analyze the recording, while commentators began posting breakdowns of what they believe the voice might be saying. Soon, entire online communities were debating whether the audio was authentic or simply another piece of internet speculation. And just like that, the situation escalated into a massive controversy. Because whenever a famous figure already under intense legal scrutiny becomes connected to a mysterious prison recording, the public reaction is immediate and powerful. People want answers. They want to know if the recording is real, who leaked it, and what it might reveal about what could be happening behind the scenes.
Has instructed parties to dial in third parties, including members and associates of the enterprise and individuals who are not on the defendant's contact list. Bradford, what do we make of this?
Not much.
Really? Not much?
Yeah. So this happens all the time in like every single case. They only make a big deal about it in this case. So the third party calling, when I can tell you in my 30 years, 28 years of practice, third party calling has been done in probably 90% of the cases that I have. In fact, sometimes third party calling to me. So what they would do is they'd get one of their friends on the line, and then that friend would then third party me in. And I always have to tell them, hey, this is an attorney-client privilege. You got a third party on the line. And when you have a third party on the line, anything we say is not attorney-client privilege. Sometimes, and this was really funny, I had a murder case in Tampa where they third-partied me in. So it was the defendant calling his friend and his friend calling me. And I knew that the prosecutor was listening, and I didn't give that warning. I didn't say. Yeah. And then I said, hey, listen, we got evidence that are going to blow the doors off of them. And I knew she was listening, and I wanted to prove a point to my client. And then we went into court, and she's like, oh, I heard this conversation with Mr. Cohen. It wasn't attorney-client, and he said he's going to blow our doors off with this new evidence. I want to see this new evidence. And, of course, we didn't have that new evidence. Yeah. So the third party, I just wanted to prove that the prosecutors, the smart prosecutors, especially in the Southern District of New York, are listening to every single phone call that you make. That's number one. Number two is the thing about using other inmates' numbers. That happens a lot too, because
them getting paid for it? Them getting paid to use it?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, that happens all the time. It's
and again, the allegation is not only that, but also contacting people who are not on his contact list.
Yeah, because some people don't want to be on your contact list. Some people don't want to be on the government's contact, because once you're on the contact list, the government now has your name, your phone number. They could tap your phone. A lot of people don't want to be on contact lists. So because of that, they might use, Bob Smith's PAC number and to call their friend, but they don't understand. It goes by the phone number, right? So like if I'm calling from Bob Smith's PAC number, they're looking for the phone number that I'm calling. They're not looking for Sean Combs. So if my number is 555-1212, they could just do a search. Who has called this phone number in the past month? And that's what they do. And then they realize, oh, wait a minute, why is Bob Smith calling this phone number? And then they go back and they listen to the conversation.
Yeah.
Really what is the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway from this is that when you first get a client, and clients might not listen to you, and he might not be listening to his attorney, and his attorney is a very good attorney. He might have told him this at the very beginning. Right. But at the very beginning of cases, you have to tell them every phone call is recorded. Don't think that you're playing cute when you have PAC numbers and you try to call someone else. They're going to find out. And that's just the way that it is, especially in the feds. So I don't take much of it,